I never imagined that an abandoned pizza on our kitchen counter would signal the beginning of my family's unraveling. I'm Ethan Parker, a 14-year-old kid from a peaceful suburban neighborhood near Denver, Colorado. That particular Friday evening, something felt off in our house, like the eerie stillness before a thunderstorm breaks. Friday had always been our sacred pizza night, where my younger sister Lily and I would playfully squabble over the last pepperoni slice while our parents watched from the couch, enjoying their iced teas and chuckling. But tonight was different. The pizza box remained unopened, its greasy bottom seeping into the cardboard, and silence filled the room. I was lying on the living room carpet, mindlessly scrolling through my phone when Lily burst in. She'd gone to the kitchen for a soda, but now she was gesturing wildly, looking like she'd witnessed something terrifying. "Ethan," she whispered urgently, "you need to see this." I sighed dramatically, assuming she'd made another mess that she wanted me to help clean up. But when she grabbed my arm, her fingernails pressing into my skin as she pulled me toward the kitchen, I noticed her expression. Her face was drained of color, eyes wide with shock, as if she'd stumbled upon a secret she wasn't meant to discover. Before I could question her, I heard it. Hushed voices, tense and brittle, filtering through the kitchen door. Mom and Dad. This wasn't their usual squabble about household chores. Something felt more ominous. I leaned against the door, listening intently. Lily crouched next to me, still clutching her unopened soda. "We're done, Sarah." Dad's voice sounded rehearsed, emotionless. Mom's response was quiet but resolute. "I know, Michael. It's time." My heart sank. Time for what? I pushed the door slightly, just enough to peek inside. They stood on opposite sides of the counter, the untouched pizza box between them like a symbolic divide. Mom stood with crossed arms and pursed lips, while Dad hunched over, his fists supporting his weight as he stared downward. Neither noticed our presence. I wanted to burst in and demand explanations, but I remained frozen. Lily murmured my name nervously, and I quickly shushed her, trying to catch more of their conversation. Then the truth emerged. "We need to tell the kids," Mom announced. Dad's head bobbed slowly, heavily. "Tonight. About the divorce." Divorce. The word crashed into me like a sucker punch, leaving me winded and disoriented. I stumbled backward, colliding with Lily. Her soda can clatter to the floor, spraying its contents everywhere, and the sudden noise made both Mom and Dad whip their heads in our direction. "Ethan," Lily, Mom choked out, her hand flying to cover her trembling lips. "What are you doing there?" Dad straightened his posture, his expression a complicated mix of weariness and shame. "Come in," he said firmly. "We need to discuss this." My pulse thundered in my ears as I stepped into the kitchen, with Lily shuffling behind me, her shoes making sticky sounds against the soda-splashed floor. The air was thick with the scent of cooling pizza and shattered dreams. I couldn't bring myself to meet their eyes or comprehend what was happening. Divorce? My parents? The same ones who'd embarrassed themselves dancing at my middle school showcase just months ago? My fingers curled in a tight fist as I glared at the abandoned pizza box, silently willing it to tell me this was all an elaborate prank. "Hey, before we continue with this emotional roller coaster, let me check in with you guys. Where are you tuning in from? Drop your location in the comments below. Maybe you're a fellow Denverite, or perhaps you're listening from across the country. If you're invested in this story, don't forget to hit subscribe. You won't regret sticking around for what happens next." Mom guided us to the table, her shaking hands pushing aside the pizza box. Dad remained standing, as if proximity might break him completely. "We love you both more than anything," Mom began, her voice unsteady. Lily's hand found mine under the table, gripping it desperately. "But your father and I have decided to separate." "This isn't because of you," Dad interjected hastily, as if that somehow made everything okay. "We just believe it's for the best." Best? I wanted to explode. How could destroying our family be best? Lily's eyes flooded with tears as she yanked her hand away and bolted upstairs. I sat motionless, watching Mom's futile gesture to catch her daughter's retreating form. "Ethan," she pleaded softly, "please say something." But words failed me. All I could think was, where did we go wrong? And there, in the deafening silence, with that mocking pizza box still in view, I made my decision. If they wouldn't mend this, I would. After Mom dropped the divorce bomb, the kitchen fell into a deafening silence, broken only by the gentle whir of our refrigerator. I remained frozen, my eyes fixed on a jagged chip. In our wooden table's edge, thoughts spinning wildly like a top about to lose momentum. The house shuddered as Lily's footsteps thundered upstairs, followed by the violent slam of her bedroom door. Every fiber of my being screamed to chase after her, to shout, to react somehow, but my legs remained paralyzed, anchored to the chair. Mom's hand drifted across the table, hovering uncertainly near mine. "Ethan," she whispered, voice cracking, "we never wanted you to find out this way." Dad shifted his weight behind her, absently massaging his neck. "We were planning to tell you properly," he added. "Try to make it less painful." Less painful? A bitter laugh nearly escaped my throat, but got stuck somewhere between disbelief and anger, like a pill refusing to go down. How could anyone sugarcoat this kind of news? I shoved away from the table, my chair screeching against the floor tiles as I stood. "I need some air," I mumbled, pushing past them. Mom called out my name, but I kept moving, snatching my sneakers from the hallway before escaping into the night. The Colorado evening air hit me with its characteristic bite, nipping at my nose and cheeks. Our neighborhood lay quiet, dotted with porch lights that twinkled like distant stars, but my mind was chaos incarnate. Divorce. The word felt foreign, wrong. I kicked a stray pebble, watching it dance across the concrete before disappearing into darkness. Sure, we weren't the Brady Bunch. Lily and I squabbled over petty things like TV privileges. Dad sometimes worked overtime at his auto shop, coming home with grease-stained clothes. Mom's hospital shifts left her exhausted, quick to snap when we slacked on housework. But divorce? That was something that happened to other families, whispered about in school hallways. I found myself at our yard's edge, beside the ancient oak where Dad had installed a tire swing ages ago. The rope had weathered badly, the tire now half swallowed by earth. Leaning against the rough bark, I replayed their words. "It's not because of you. Best for everyone." Empty promises, I thought bitterly. If we weren't the problem, what was? Suddenly, a sharp rustling from the garage caught my attention. My heart rate spiked. Dad's truck was parked out front, so it couldn't be him. Mom was still inside. I inched forward cautiously, each step on the gravel seeming to echo through the night. The garage door was slightly ajar, casting a thin beam of yellow light onto the driveway. I peered through the gap, holding my breath. Inside, Dad was bent over his workbench, hastily stuffing items into a duffel bag. These weren't his typical repair tools or mechanical equipment, but unfamiliar objects. A heavy-duty flashlight, a carefully folded map, and an unusual black device with a pulsing red indicator. My chest tightened. What would he be planning? He muttered something inaudible under his breath, quickly zipped the bag closed, and hoisted it onto his shoulder. I retreated as he turned, his heavy boots thudding against the concrete floor. Though I remained hidden, I caught a glimpse of his expression. It wasn't the defeated, melancholic look from the kitchen earlier. Instead, his face showed determination, intensity, like someone harboring a significant secret. I concealed myself behind the oak tree as he emerged, securing the garage door behind him. After a cautious scan of the surroundings, he headed toward the house, clutching the bag close to his body. Questions raced through my mind. Could this mysterious behavior explain the impending divorce? What secrets was Dad keeping? Once he disappeared inside, I sprinted across the lawn toward the porch, my footsteps silent against the grass. I needed answers, but first, I had to consult Lily. Her bedroom was exactly where I expected, at the stairs summit, door firmly closed. I knocked gently at first, then more insistently. "Lily, it's me," I whispered urgently. "Let me in." Silence greeted me. I turned the handle and entered anyway. She lay curled up on her bed, facing away, wrapped tightly in her pink comforter. "Leave me alone, Ethan," she said, her voice heavy with emotion. I settled onto the bed's edge, ignoring the squeaking springs. "Not happening," I replied firmly. "We need to discuss something." She turned over, fixing me with a tear-stained glare. "What's left to discuss?" "They're abandoning us." I shook my head emphatically. "It's more complicated than that." I just caught Dad in the garage, packing strange items. A map, some electronic device. He was acting suspicious, Lily, like he's planning something. Her forehead creased with concern as she slowly sat upright. "What kind of device?" I gestured vaguely. "Not sure exactly. Small, with a blinking light." "The point is, maybe this divorce isn't what it seems. Maybe there's something else going on. Lily dabbed at her nose with her sleeve, studying me as if questioning my sanity. You're crazy, she said, though uncertainty tinged her voice. She wasn't convinced. Neither was I, but that mysterious bag kept nagging at my thoughts. They're not being honest, I insisted. Or they're concealing something. We can't remain passive. She hugged her knees, contemplating silently. Finally, she asked, so what's our next move? I leaned closer, lowering my voice to a whisper. We investigate and uncover the truth. Whatever's happening, we make them address it. Together. Lily wiped her eyes, giving a slight nod. Fine, but if you're wrong about this, I'm telling everyone at school you're a total conspiracy nut. Despite the gravity of the situation, I couldn't help but smirk. Deal. As she shifted off the bed, I felt something change inside me. Not just anger anymore, but a sense of mission. Whatever Dad was concealing, whatever had fractured our family, we would unearth it. And perhaps, just perhaps, we could pull everyone back from his precipice. The scent of strawberry lotion mingled with musty books in Lily's room, an odd combination that struck me as I stood beside her bed, watching her restless pacing. Her pink curtains swayed in the breeze from the partially open window, carrying the distant moan of rocky mountain winds. It was well past our usual bedtime, when Mom would normally insist we switch off our lights, but neither of us paid that any mind. My thoughts were still racing from a scene I'd witnessed in the garage, Dad's shadowy figure hurriedly packing that bag like some midnight burglar. Lily halted her pacing, hands planted on her hips, her pajama top wrinkled from her earlier fetal position. All right, Ethan, she said, her tone sharp. Assuming you haven't lost your mind, what's your strategy? I collapsed in her beanbag chair, the Christmas present she'd pleaded for last year, and rubbed my tired eyes. We need to reunite them, I explained. Dad's secret is connected to this divorce somehow. If we can remind them why they work as a team, maybe he'll confess, and this whole separation stops. Lily scoffed, folding her arms. You sound like those cheesy therapists Mom listens to while driving. I managed to smile despite our tense situation. Funny you mentioned that. Last week on KOA, I heard someone discussing love languages. Dad shows his love through actions, right? Fixing things, helping out. Mom's different, though. She thrives on words of affirmation and small gestures. Lily cocked her head, her ponytail swinging. What? So we play matchmaker. Try to reignite their romance. Precisely, I replied, leaning forward eagerly. We target their soft spots. I'll help Dad with the truck maintenance. Keep him talking. You work on Mom? Maybe create one of those heartfelt cards you used to make. She stared at me, her expression wavering between amusement and skepticism. That's absolutely ridiculous, she finally declared. But I'm in. Just don't call me kiddo again, or I'm out. I raised my hands in mock surrender. Deal. She flashed a knowing smirk, reaching for her sketchbook from the cluttered desk and flipping to a pristine page. If we're executing this plan, we need something concrete, she declared, her pencil rhythmically tapping against the paper. Something more sophisticated than truck maintenance and handmade cards. I nodded, my mind whirring with possibilities. That's when inspiration struck. The weathered photo album tucked away in the hall closet, the one Mom religiously brought out during Thanksgiving to mortify us with childhood snapshots. There was this particular photograph, Dad beaming with his arm wrapped around Mom at some rustic campsite, flames dancing behind them. They radiated genuine happiness, the kind that made your heart ache. What if we could reconstruct that moment? Before I could voice my idea, a heavy thud resonated from downstairs, sharp and jarring, like a weighty object crashing to the floor. Lily froze mid-motion, her pencil suspended in air. What was that? She whispered. I rose to my feet, feeling my heartbeat accelerate. Stay put, I instructed, moving toward the door. She clutched my sleeve firmly. Not happening. If you're investigating, I'm your backup. I didn't waste breath arguing. We descended the stairs stealthily, our bare feet seeking silent purchase, though the old would protested beneath us. The living room lay in darkness, with only faint streetlight filtering through the Venetian blinds. Another thud, more muffled this time, emanated from Dad's office, his sacred gearhead sanctuary off the hallway. I eased the door open with my elbow, peering inside. The desk lamp cast amber light over scattered car manuals and an abandoned coffee mug. Dad was absent, but the window gaped wide, curtains dancing wildly. Lily's breath caught as she pointed. Look, she hissed. The mysterious black box from the garage perched on the desk, its red light pulsing more rapidly now, like an anxious heartbeat. Beside it lay a crumpled note in Dad's distinctive scrawl. I snatched it before Lily could reach it, scanning the hurried words. Pick up Wednesday. Don't tell S. Keep it low. My stomach clenched. Wednesday just 3 days away. That's how to mean, Mom. Sarah, what was this pickup? Why the secrecy? Lily wrenched the note from my grasp, reading it herself. The color drained from her face. Ethan, she breathed, barely audible. This isn't just about their fighting. This is something else entirely. I nodded, the room suddenly suffocating. Yeah, I agreed. And time's running out to solve this mystery. I reached for the box, turning it over carefully in my hands. The object was surprisingly lightweight and smooth, devoid of any markings or controls. Just that unsettling blinking light. Put that down, Lily hissed, snatching it from my grip and returning it precisely to its spot. If he discovers we've touched it, we're dead. She had a point. We retreated quietly, easing the door shut, then raced upstairs. Back in her room, I collapsed into the beanbag, my mind racing with possibilities. We need to act quickly, I said. Starting tomorrow, you work on Mom, I'll handle Dad. We need to dig deeper and force them together. No holding back. Lily clutched her sketchbook tightly, her expression tense. This has to succeed, she whispered. We're not just risking their relationship. We're risking everything. Our eyes met, and I felt the gravity of our situation. It will, I assured her, masking my own uncertainty. As she outlined our strategy, I stared upward, that pulsing red light seared into my thoughts. Whatever Dad was involved in stretched far beyond marital problems, and we were about to dive headfirst into it. Morning arrived harshly, with sunbeams piercing through my window blinds, dragging me from fitful sleep. My bedroom reeked of anxiety and dirty laundry, the memory of that mysterious box still haunting my thoughts. I made my way downstairs, the house unnaturally silent, as if anticipating something. Lily was already at breakfast, balanced on a kitchen stool, simultaneously eating cereal and sketching. She looked up as I entered, her spoon tapping against her bowl. You look terrible, she observed. Ready to play savior? I snatched a banana from the fruit bowl, peeling it hastily. As ready as possible, I replied. Time to begin. Our scheme started smoothly. Dad was in the driveway, working on his old Ford, the engine rumbling like an angry grizzly. I slipped on my sneakers, grabbed a cleaning cloth from the laundry area, and stepped outside. The morning air was warm, heavy with engine oil and freshly cut grass from next door. Hey, Dad, I called, aiming for nonchalance. Could you use some help? He glanced up, wiping perspiration from his brow with his grease-stained sleeve. His expression was skeptical, eyebrows raised in surprise. You? Working on cars, he said, a half-smile playing on his lips. Well, all right, kid. Get that socket set from over there. I knelt beside him, passing tools and observing his methodical movements, each gesture precise and confident. This was my opportunity. I cleared my throat carefully. You really know your way around engines, don't you? The way you fix things? He responded with a grunt, focusing on tightening a stubborn bolt. Done it long enough to learn. I pressed forward cautiously. Mom probably misses your expertise, though. Like when her car broke down last summer. She couldn't stop telling everyone at her nursing staff potluck about how you fixed it. He hesitated momentarily, his wrench suspended in midair. Then he shrugged dismissively. That's ancient history, Ethan. Things aren't the same anymore. My heart constricted painfully. He wasn't taking the bait. I glanced toward the garage, that locked door mocking me, and decided to take a risk. I noticed you in the garage late yesterday. I mentioned keeping my tone casual. Were you packing something? His head jerked up instantly, his eyes meeting mine with an intensity that was almost frightening. What exactly did you see? He demanded too quickly. I stumbled over my words, caught off guard by his reaction. Just, you with some kind of bag. Looked pretty heavy. He relaxed slightly, though tension still lined his face as he returned to the engine. Just work-related items, he said curtly. Moving some equipment to the shop tomorrow. Nothing to concern yourself with. Work-related. Sure. That mysterious blinking device didn't look like any automotive tool I'd ever seen. Before I could probe further, he straightened up, cleaning his hands. Actually, he said, I found an apartment downtown. Single bedroom, decent city view. Planning to sign the lease soon. My heart plummeted. He was already mentally gone, wasn't he? I nodded, forcing a smile as I handed him the cleaning rag. Cool, I replied, my voice hollow. Our plan was unraveling before it had really begun. Meanwhile, Lily made her attempt with Mom. I caught the end of their interaction when I trudged back inside, where the kitchen air was thick with the scent of coffee and overcooked toast. Mom stood at the sink washing mugs while Lily hovered near the refrigerator, clutching a folded paper. She'd created an elaborate card, decorated with flowers and glitter, reminiscent of the ones Mom used to proudly display when we were younger. From my position in the doorway, I watched as Lily extended it hopefully. Here, Mom, she said eagerly. I made this for you. Mom dried her hands, accepted it, and opened it deliberately. Her expression softened briefly as she read. Lily, this is lovely, she said, her voice gentle but weary. You have such artistic talent. Lily stepped forward, her face brightening with hope. Remember what you used to say about Dad? She asked with childlike innocence. How he was your hero, always fixing things and making you smile. Don't you think he could still be that person? Mom's expression shifted, her grip tightening on the handmade card. She placed it on the counter with deliberate gentleness that felt somehow final. Sweetheart, she replied, her voice measured, it's more complicated now. I actually have a lunch appointment today with Tom Grayson. Need to prepare some documents. She collected her purse and departed, leaving Lily staring at her rejected creation. I entered the kitchen as the door closed behind Mom. Lunch with Tom? I murmured. Lily whirled around, her eyes widening. Could it be a date? She whispered anxiously. I contemplated this, frowning. Perhaps. Or it might connect to Dad's mysterious behavior. Either way, we're losing our chance. Lily sagged against the refrigerator, scuffing her shoe against the floor. This isn't going anywhere, Ethan. They're not making any effort. I moved restlessly across the kitchen, my footsteps echoing. We just need more time, I insisted. More leverage. Then inspiration struck. The note. Wednesday. Whatever Dad was collecting, it was our next opportunity. I rushed to my bedroom, Lily following close behind, and pulled my desk drawer open. During the previous night, I'd managed to tear off a piece of that crumpled note. Just a fragment, but it was something. Spreading it across my bedspread, we examined the words. Keep it low. Lily studied it, puzzled. What does that mean? She questioned. I shrugged. Not sure, but tomorrow's the day. We follow him, discover what he's hiding. If it's significant enough, we can use it to bring them back together. She gaped at me. Follow him? Like secret agents? Have you lost your mind? Possibly, I admitted, smiling despite my internal anxiety. But we're running out of alternatives. She collapsed onto my bed with an exasperated sigh. If this goes wrong, you're taking the blame. Fine by me. I agreed, gazing out toward the garage. The setting sun painted the sky amber, and I felt the weight of time passing. Dad's apartment plans, Mom's lunch date, that mysterious pickup. Our family was fragmenting, and we were about to risk everything to piece it back together. One misstep could shatter it all completely. The dawn broke harsh and bleak, the sort of morning that begs you to burrow deeper under your blankets. But that wasn't an option. Today marked the pickup date from Dad's mysterious note, our final chance to salvage our crumbling family. Lily and I had tossed and turned all night, plotting in hushed tones until daybreak. Following Dad downtown seemed too dangerous, with countless ways to be discovered, so we'd changed course. Dramatically, the old photo album we'd found sparked inspiration, a family camping expedition reminiscent of happier times when our parents seemed unbreakable. Rocky Mountain National Park, just an hour from our house, would be our chosen battlefield. If we could corner them there, force a confrontation, perhaps we'd uncover the truth behind their growing divide. Getting their agreement proved challenging. Over breakfast, I played the nostalgia card with Dad as he nursed his coffee, black and bitter. That elk at Rocky Mountain, I mentioned casually, drowning my pancakes in syrup. Remember how you and Mom couldn't stop laughing when it crashed our photo? His expression softened momentarily, almost smiling. Yeah, he murmured, those were good days. Lily seized the moment, toying with her spoon. We should return there. One last family adventure before everything changes. Mom, dicing fruit at the counter, hesitated. Her eyes met Dad's briefly. All right, she conceded. Just one day. By midday, we were loaded into the SUV, camping gear crammed in the back alongside our packed lunch. The mountain road snaked through dense pine forest, the atmosphere growing crisp and untamed. From the passenger seat, I watched Dad discreetly. His fingers gripped the steering wheel tightly, tension evident in his clenched jaw, holding back unspoken words. Mom softly hummed in the rear, studying a park brochure, while Lily caught my eye from behind, silently pleading, "This has to succeed." I nodded reassuringly, though my insides churned with uncertainty. We settled near Bear Lake, choosing a level space surrounded by majestic evergreens, the lake's surface gleaming like polished silver beneath overcast skies. Dad wrestled with the tent, muttering about corroded tent poles while I helped secure the stakes, keeping him within reach. Lily accompanied Mom, collecting firewood and reminiscing about previous adventures. Phase 1 was proceeding smoothly, getting them here, maintaining normalcy. Phase 2 involved a trap. I'd secretly borrowed some heavy-duty adhesive from Dad's garage tools yesterday, concealing it in my pack. Our plan? Seal the tent zipper, forcing them to spend the night together, compelling conversation. No distractions, no more secrets. Twilight descended rapidly, the sky darkening to a deep violet as we huddled around the crackling campfire, roasting hot dogs. Mom chuckled at Lily's poorly crafted ghost story, and Dad, in an unusual display of warmth, tossed a marshmallow my way with a fleeting smile. For a moment, it felt genuine, as if we'd traveled back in time. Then Lily gave me our predetermined signal, a subtle nod, and we initiated our plan. "We're going to refill the water containers at the pump," I announced, gathering the empty jugs. Mom dismissed us with a wave. "Don't take too long," she called out. "Your father's starting dinner soon." "Watch yourselves," Dad added, prodding the flames. I exchanged a knowing glance with Lily as we disappeared into the darkness. Safety wasn't our primary concern. We stealthily circled back through the forest, staying low, the adhesive tube growing slick in my palm. Their lantern cast a soft glow from within the tent, silhouettes moving as they arranged sleeping bags. Heart racing, I approached and carefully applied a thick bead along the zipper's track, ensuring it would seal completely. "Quick," Lily whispered urgently from the shrubs. "They'll detect us." I hastily finished, stuffed the tube into my backpack, and we sprinted to the car, securing ourselves in the rear seats. Phase 3 commenced. Anticipation. Time crawled by agonizingly until a sudden shout pierced the silence. "Ethan! Lily!" Dad's voice thundered from within the tent. "Get over here immediately." Mom's voice joined in, more strident. "This isn't amusing. Release this zipper." Through the window, I observed the tent shuddering as they struggled with the sealed entrance. Lily clutched my arm fiercely, her fingernails leaving marks. "They're furious," she whispered. "What if they despise us?" "They won't," I assured her, silently hoping I spoke truth. "They just need to process this." Then something unsettling occurred. A faint but persistent buzzing emanated from the tent. My heart froze. I recognized that sound. The blinking device. Dad had smuggled it in his equipment. Mom's voice rose sharply. "Michael, what's making that noise?" she demanded. Dad's response was muffled but clearly tense, defensive. The buzzing ceased, then resumed more intensely. Lily's eyes grew wide. "Ethan," she whispered, "what's happening in there?" I shook my head, feeling dread settle in my stomach. "I have no idea." The tent fell silent, eerily so, as the lantern's light dimmed to nothing. I watched the shadowy outline, my breath creating misty patterns on the car window. Had they surrendered? Fallen asleep? Or was Dad revealing to Mom the contents of that mysterious box? Finally sharing the truth? We remained still, wrapped in a blanket, as darkness enveloped us. When morning came, my neck was stiff, and Lily's gentle snores vibrated against my shoulder. I gently roused her as movement stirred in the tent. Dad's voice emerged first, gruff yet controlled. "Kids, come here." We emerged unsteadily, our feet meeting dewy grass, to confront them. Mom stood there, arms folded across her chest, her hair disheveled from the night. Dad held the tent entrance, now loose, his expression unreadable. "You're punished," he declared firmly. 2 weeks, no gaming, no phones. Mom moved closer, her expression gentler. "We understand," she said. "The divorce is affecting you deeply. We're postponing it, for the time being." Lily's hand found mine, squeezing tight. "Did it work?" she murmured. I nodded, still stunned. Perhaps. But while Dad dismantled the tent, I noticed it. The black box concealed in his pack, its red light still pulsing. He caught my stare, his eyes stern, before quickly turning away. Despite our punishment, we'd won a postponement. Yet that mysterious hum, that secret, hung like a persistent fog. Whatever leverage we'd gained over them, the story wasn't finished. The journey home from Rocky Mountain was a subdued ache, the SUV purring along curved roads as pine trees streaked past. I occupied the back seat with Lily, my legs stiff from sleeping in the car, her head resting against the window. Mom maintained control at the wheel, while Dad gazed out his window, the black box hidden somewhere among his belongings. Grounded or not, we'd secured some time, but that strange buzzing from the tent clung to my thoughts like morning mist. This had evolved beyond just love. Something more ominous was growing, and I could sense it crawling beneath my skin. Our house greeted us with an artificial sense of routine. The kitchen's lemony scent and the refrigerator's gentle hum accompanied Mom as she emptied the cooler. Lily and I slumped at the table, nibbling stale sandwiches, our triumph rapidly fading. The gaming ban hurt, but Dad's stern look by the lake and that blinking red light hurt more. He'd retreated to his office immediately upon arrival, door firmly closed, while Mom hummed by the sink, pretending everything was normal. Lily kicked me under the table. "What's the plan now, Smarty?" she whispered. I shrugged mid-bite. "We wait," I replied. "See if they keep their word." They didn't. By nightfall, the facade crumbled. I was dragging garbage bags to the street when the argument pierced through the kitchen window. Mom's voice carried a glacial edge. "Michael, stop avoiding the issue. What's with these mysterious late-night calls?" Dad's response came clipped and defensive. "It's work, Sarah. You know how demanding it gets." I stood motionless, trash bag suspended in my grip, as the streetlight hummed above. Late-night calls? This was unexpected. I inched closer, crouching beneath the windowsill, feeling damp grass against my knees. Lily emerged silently from the back door, joining my surveillance, her expression anxious. "What's going on?" she whispered. I gestured for silence, straining to catch every word. The situation deteriorated rapidly. Something shattered, probably dinnerware, and Mom's voice rose sharply. "Stop the deception. I saw the message, Michael. Pickup confirmed. What mess are you involved in?" My pulse thundered in my chest. The note. Wednesday. My suspicions weren't unfounded. Dad released a guttural sound I'd never witnessed before. "You're misinterpreting everything. I've got it under control." "Then explain." Mom's voice exploded. "Explain why we're maintaining this charade for the children while you skulk around." A suffocating silence descended, and I held perfectly still, anticipating. Lily clutched my sleeve, her complexion ashen. "Ethan," she breathed. "The box. It must be connected." I nodded, thoughts whirling. Before I could respond, footsteps approached, and the back door swung wide. We scrambled behind the garbage bins, but too late. Mom stood there, arms crossed, her silhouette stark against the porch lighting. "Ethan, Lily," she commanded, her tone razor-sharp. "Inside. Now." We entered sheepishly, heads bowed, finding the kitchen thick with tension. Dad stood by the counter, shattered ceramic at his feet, coffee spreading across the floor. Mom pointed accusingly. "You overheard everything, didn't you?" she demanded. Lily offered a quick, small nod, and I followed suit, mouth dry. "Good," Mom said, voice unsteady. "Because we're done with secrets." She turned toward Dad. "Tell them, Michael, or I will." Dad massaged his face slowly, as if shedding a disguise. "All right," he conceded, voice hoarse. "Sit down." We settled onto the bar stools, Lily's leg jittering against mine. He inhaled deeply, then began. "It's not infidelity," he stated, glancing at Mom. "It's unofficial work. A shop contact offered a debt solution. I'm transporting specialty parts for a collector. That box. It's surveillance equipment. Monitors the cargo." My mouth fell open in disbelief. "Parts? Debts?" Lily voiced my thoughts before I could form them. "Like stealing?" she asked. Dad winced visibly. "Not exactly," he explained. "More like borrowing and reselling." "It's not that simple." Mom interjected, her eyes flashing with anger. "Not simple? You've entangled all of us in this. I assumed you were having an affair, Michael, not committing crimes." He slammed his palm against the counter surface. "I'm not breaking laws. Everything's managed." One more delivery, and I'm finished. I gazed at him, barely recognizing this man who once spent weekends teaching me basketball, now reduced to someone harboring mysterious surveillance equipment. Why keep Mom in the dark? I asked quietly. He met my eyes, remorse etched across his features. Want to protect you kids from this mess, he admitted. Thought I could resolve it quietly. Mom's laugh was sharp with bitterness. Resolve it? You've only made everything worse. Lily pushed back her stool with a harsh scrape. So that's the reason, she demanded, tears threatening to spill. You're separating because of some questionable business deal. Mom's expression softened as she moved toward her. No, sweetheart, she said gently. There's more to it. We've been growing apart for years. This just brought everything to light. Staying together is destroying us. I rose too, trembling. Then stopped pretending. I declared forcefully, surprising even myself. If you're unhappy, end it. We're old enough to understand. Silence descended, broken only by the kitchen clocks. Steady ticking. Dad nodded slowly, as if expecting this response. You're right, he acknowledged. Mom dabbed at her eyes, managing a slight smile. Our children, she murmured, always wiser than we are. We talked it through last night in the tent. Decided we'd be better parents apart than miserable together. For good this time. I collapsed back onto my stool, anger dissipating. Lily sniffed, then smirked. So Tom's really your divorce attorney? She asked Mom. Not a romantic interest? Mom looked startled, then laughed genuinely. Yes, she confirmed. And you two detectives need to stop hacking my phone. Relief washed over me, but it was bittersweet. The surveillance box and lies had shattered our family's facade. And ironically, we'd helped expose the truth. A week after the kitchen confrontation, life resembled a scattered puzzle with pieces turned wrong side up. The house had grown eerily quiet, not the peaceful kind, but the sort that amplifies absences. Mom started sleeping in, her medical scrubs replaced by loungewear most days. Dad relocated on Saturday, his pickup truck rumbling toward his new downtown apartment, a place with a view I hadn't visited yet. Lily and I divided our time between them, orchestrating an awkward ballet of backpacks and car rides. That Sunday afternoon found me at the neighborhood park, the one with the weathered basketball hoop where Dad once taught me the game. Lily came along, bouncing a basketball, her sneakers scraping against the fractured court. The autumn air carried a crispness, dead leaves crackling beneath our feet, and I settled onto a bench, observing her shots. She missed, the ball ricocheting off the rim, drawing out a frustrated groan. Come on, Ethan, she called, throwing the ball my way. I caught it, balancing on my finger, but my attention shifted to a dark sedan stationed across the lot. Dark windows, motor running, a mysterious red light pulsing within. My insides churned. That glow, just like a box. I rose carefully, the ball dropping with a hollow bounce. Lily noticed, running over. What's wrong? She asked, tracking my gaze. Did you catch that? Before I could respond, the sedan accelerated away, tires screeching, disappearing around the corner. My heart hammered. Could it be Dad's collector? Someone monitoring us? I tried dismissing it, but the disquiet lingered, like an inescapable shadow. Lily jabbed my arm, playfully yet firmly. You're getting paranoid, she stated. It's done, isn't it? I nodded, uncertain. Sure, I replied. Probably nothing, but felt far from nothing. Dad's first week in custody arrived quickly. His new residence carried the scent of fresh paint and delivered pizza, a single bedroom with a small terrace overlooking city lights. He'd kept his word about choosing a complex with a pool, despite the broken hot tub. We swam anyway, Lily performing cannonballs while I drifted, watching the chlorine-tinted waves. Dad reclined on a lounger, drinking soda, his phone constantly vibrating beside him. I swam nearer, peering through the water. Another call? I inquired, attempting nonchalance. He snatched the phone, quickly silencing it. Just work stuff, he responded, too smoothly. Catching up after moving. I wasn't convinced. The mysterious buzz and that eerie red glow at the park kept eating at my thoughts. When Dad stepped inside for more towels, I seized the moment to examine his bag near the pool. The box had vanished, but there was a creased paper peeking out, its edges weathered. With trembling hands, I pulled it out and unfolded it quickly. It was a receipt showing $50,000, marked as paid in full, dated just 2 days prior. My stomach dropped. He'd settled the debt, cleared his name. But what had he done to get there? Lily's splash interrupted my investigation. Put it back, she whispered urgently, swimming closer. He's coming. I hastily stuffed it away, barely managing before Dad returned, wearing a strained smile. Having fun? He asked. I nodded, feeling a mix of relief and shame churning inside. Mom's custody period arrived midweek, and she made extra efforts. The kitchen filled with the comforting aroma of freshly baked cookies, and we gathered around the table playing Uno, sharing laughs as Lily stacked draw four cards. Then her phone lit up with a message from Tom Grayson. She glanced at it briefly before flipping it over, her laughter fading. The paperwork's almost complete, she mentioned without prompting. I'll be free soon. Free. That word lingered heavily in the air. I wondered if Tom knew about Dad's secret dealings, if Mom had discovered them. She went on a date with a coworker later that week. A quiet evening she didn't try to hide. I avoided asking about him. There was no need. The repercussions emerged gradually, but unmistakably. Dad's mysterious calls persisted, his gaze darting nervously when he thought we weren't looking. One evening, I caught his hushed conversation on the balcony. No more. Runs, he stated firmly. I'm done. After a pause came the reply, good. Then silence. My academic performance suffered amid the turmoil, earning me summer school with a D in mathematics. Lily lost her cherished jacket at the park during our hasty retreat from that suspicious sedan. Our deceptions carried a heavy toll, affecting everyone. Yet there was hope. Mom's smile returned, genuine and soft, as she planned a solitary coastal vacation. Dad resumed coaching us at the park, his laughter bouncing off the trees. Lily and I still quarreled, her elbow finding my ribs when I snatched her fries, but it felt different now, lighter, as if we'd released an invisible burden. Standing on the court that Sunday, spinning the basketball, I realized families don't need perfection. Sometimes breaking apart leads to healing. While deception nearly destroyed us, embracing truth became our lifeline. And so our tale draws to a close. Was this conclusion what you anticipated, or did it take you by surprise? Share your thoughts and reactions in the comments below. If this journey resonated with you, remember to hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on future stories. Thank you for joining us on this emotional ride. And until next time,